Hi guys, you guys have already seen the thumbnail. We have a very special guest here with us today, RJ Maya KARTHA from Hit 96.7 FM Dubai. And if you guys have already tuned into this radio station before, she's a very popular face. And of course, today we are going to discuss about RJ. Who is a radio jockey? How you become one, and how are the things with them? So, guys, you guys are watching Minding My Business, and I'm your host Avi. Hi Maya, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Avi. It's definitely a pleasure to be here today.
And as you know, we are discussing about radio jockeying. And first of all, for the audience and for me, we listen to it, but then we don't know what goes behind the doors. We don't know what do you do or what do you have to do to become one.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Can you tell me your journey and how it happened?
Fundamentally, I think the first and foremost thing is you cannot really teach anybody to become an artist. There's no course or there is no secret formula, and you can't just mold a person to become an artist. It happens over time.
Correct.
And I feel radio is a very, very personal medium. And the most important thing is if you have a media background, yes, it will definitely help.
Okay.
Because it's about how spontaneous you are. It's about how you put your message across and how people connect with you. So your clarity of speech is very important. And radio, because radio is just audio, although things have changed now, social media, digital world is big time now, people just hear your voice. So, you've got to have a clarity of thought, you've got to have clarity of speech, and you also need to connect with them with your content. Content is always key. So, only when they feel will connect with you will they stay with you. Will they come back to you?
Okay.
So, how did I become an RJ? Right from my school years, I've always had a media background. Like I studied psychology actually. But there was always television and stage shows, which was always a part of my show, part of my life.
Okay.
So, when I was growing up, television was big time in Kerala.
Yeah.
The FM culture had not yet set in. So I was always on television. I was always doing stage shows, and that's how I used to make my pocket money. So, that was the catch there. Oh, if I do this, I get my money. So one of my friends, she made it through this interview, and back in 2004, there was this head hunting for RJs all across Kerala. I did not know about it. It came in the papers, but I never knew about it.
Okay.
My friend made it through, and she said, "Why don't you also apply?" So I was like, radio, I don't know, I'm not too sure. And because nobody in my family has a radio background. So I thought, okay, fine, let me give it a shot, let's see what happens.
Were your parents cool about it?
Yeah, actually they were very cool. I'm surprised.
And did they know how this business is, how this sort of work is?
Not really.
Or they thought maybe radio is more like getting into the media, or people don't know, right? Until you educate
my parents are teachers.
Yeah. Okay.
They have nothing that connects them to media or radio.
Okay.
But my dad was, I think, my dad is always, we have 3 girls, so my dad always used to believe that, you have to take the opportunity that comes in life. You don't know what might click, and you can't really know what your future holds, right?
Correct.
So he said, okay, give it a shot, let's see where it goes. So the first thing he asked, my boss then was, who will hold the passport? Will you guys hold the passport, or will my daughter have it? Because in case if I want to come back, I should have the liberty to do it. So our passport, he said, no, it's going to be with her. Let she try, and then let's see where it goes. And then I applied, I made it through, and since the inception of Hit FM, I've been a part of it. 16 years.
16 years.
It's been a bright journey.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, Maya. 16 years in the industry. And of course, I think you need talent. Obviously, you need talent. You need talent for every profession. But how does it work? You wake up and what else do you see when a person is wanting to become? I want to become an RJ. Okay. Somebody wakes up and wants to become an RJ. So what does he or she do? Do I train in the media? Or,
yeah.
You said obviously. Sorry, I'm going on. So you said in the previous one that you need to have that knack for it.
Yes.
What else?
See, that's the thing. Radio, as I told you, is a very personal medium. And here, what I believe and what we were taught initially was be yourself. Because in this world, what you should understand is there is only one Avi.
True.
Anybody else, if I try to become you, I would just be a very poor and a very sad replica of yours.
Yeah.
So, and people love personalities. They love that uniqueness about others, you know. So when you go on air and you speak, it is important that you show
Your voice
them
is
that this
recognized.
is and you show people that this is me. You know,
Okay.
and that is when the acceptance comes in. There is no facade there. There is a lot of transparency. So people eventually try and connect with you because you have a personality that gels with theirs or something that they find appealing. You know, so that is very important. So in our radio station, the first thing that we were taught was to be ourselves, and that is why we have personalities on it. You know, and you have to build it. That doesn't happen overnight. It gets built over a period of time.
Over a period of time.
Yeah, so we've always.
It's the voice people are connecting
Absolutely.
to. So
And it's not exactly the voice. I would say it is a personality.
voice, the personality.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you want to hear that particular voice. You know what they are talking. Probably
Yes.
somebody else will not be able to replicate it.
Absolutely.
Obviously. So it's a very personal.
In any profession for that matter, see, we can't have 10 Shah Rukh Khans and like all
True.
10, right?
Yeah, true.
There is only one Shah Rukh Khan.
Correct.
Similarly, there is only one Maya. If somebody else tries to be me, or if I try to be somebody else, it's
Yeah.
just not going to last too long. You cannot hold that for long, you know. So that is the most important thing. People should drive with you, people should laugh with you, and you know, once you tell them something, I've had people who come back to me like in randomly during our road shows and all, and they said, you know what, 5 years back you played my request, you read my message, and you said this to me. I might not remember, but I'm so happy that they
people
hold it
remember,
close
yeah.
to their heart. And that happens only when you are genuinely interested in them. You know, that connect should happen, and that's what will keep you there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so if I've been on radio for 16 years, I think it's because my listeners connect with me and I
Of
connect
course,
with them.
of course. And Maya, another question I will immediately ask is, what is the typical day of RJ? Like, so for the audience, for me as well, people who don't know. So there are timings, obviously.
Yes.
So how is your typical day like? You know, a Monday morning, a Sunday morning.
Yeah. Let's see.
In your,
I work with Arabian Radio Network, and we have 9 radio stations under that.
okay.
And Hit FM is one of the wings.
Okay.
So we have 12 members working for Hit. Okay, so all of these 12 people are the strength at the back end and are the strength in the forefront as well.
Correct.
So we literally run the station. As I said, I've been here for 16 years.
Yes.
Hit FM is my baby,
Yes.
like literally. You know, I
Just set it up.
yeah, we set it up, you know. So right from building the music to the content, everything, we do it. So I go for client meetings. I do the scripting for ads. So it's like there are people who help. I mean, the other RJs do music. So it's basically, you know what, we do the running of the station.
Okay.
We have an 8-hour duty time, but sometimes it's not just about 8 hours. We might be there for 10 hours, we might be there for 4 hours, but it's about how you run the station. So
True.
that's my typical day actually. So I have a lifestyle show which I do from 11 to 2
Okay.
every day. That is from Sunday to Thursday, and otherwise I'm also doing other client meetings and all of that. So essentially, Hit is my work.
And your script is like ready, like how do you prepare your script a day before, or like you have things planned, or like
Of
you
course.
come, of course.
See, there has to be a little bit of planning because you can't just go there and blabber anything and everything.
Correct.
So when I go on air, I do have an understanding in my head as to what I'm going to be speaking. You know, but I don't have a script written. I don't read it out.
Correct.
Because if you read it out, you're not talking.
You're not talking.
Conversing,
Correct.
right?
You're not
This is a conversation.
This is a conversation.
Now, if I end up reading all of this, it would just be
Yeah.
so robotic.
Yes.
It would be so mechanical.
True.
So so we don't have a script per se, but yes, we plan what we're going to talk.
And you guys write your own script, or again there is somebody else who is
No. There
So
is
you speak what you want to.
Yes. So that is it.
Okay.
So the success of a show is on the presenter. The failure is also on the presenter.
And even the idea, the meat of the product which you're gonna deliver that day, like the whole thing, even the idea is yours.
Yes.
Everything is
Everything.
yours. Okay.
So the RJ, the presenter, takes sole responsibility of a show.
Of the whole show.
Yes, of course there does happen discussions because we have weekly meetings and then we always ask for suggestions from others as well because it's a collective thing at the end of the day.
Correct.
Because as I told you, these 12 people are the core of Hit FM. So all of us pitch in and contribute on it. That is how the running
But
happens.
RJ, generally it's not like you are making like a movie where 5 people are involved, your material, you prepare.
Yes.
I mean, I'm talking only about the material point of view.
Yes.
You prepare your own material.
Yes.
I mean, that's very nice, obviously, because
And
you're not doing something which you don't like.
actually, that's the thing, and that is the only way you can sustain. Because what happens is, probably if you were to prepare the material for me, it is your creativity there, right?
Correct.
Probably that's not what I am.
Correct. True.
I might be a totally different person. So now I'm not a person who plays pranks on people.
Yeah.
I'm not really good at that. But
Yeah.
I'm this girl next door socks.
Correct.
So I talk to people. I ask them what did you cook today. That's the connect for me. So that's my personality. So it's always nice.
Maybe somebody else wouldn't want to ask that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They wouldn't want to go that personal. So it's a choice again.
Yeah. I actually go on air and say, you know what, I made this today, or you know what, there was this bird that built a nest in my house today. So all of that, I go share my personal things actually, because that's what I am. I enjoy saying that.
Yeah.
And that is why my listeners connect with me as well. That's what I believe. And
Perfect. Maya, next question is, so the radio culture, I think post-lockdown, I want to know from March, when the whole Corona situation started,
yeah.
how have things been? Were you guys on air? How were you on air?
Yeah, okay.
This is one part which I want to know. And then in the last 3-4 months, the podcasting industry has grown.
Yeah.
As in, what we are doing right now is a video podcast, but there are audio podcasts as well. So people who recorded audios are put out on Spotify and other mediums, which people probably can mistake it as as a radio running. So how do you treat that as a competition? Because again, it is something which somebody else will play and probably is taking out time. So I mean, how do you?
Yes. When the lockdown happened, we were quite sure that the digital world is going to become. Our management was very quick to realize that. But we did not go off air. We did not take radio home. Although it is possible to take radio home.
Okay.
We can have a setup, but it requires a lot of technicalities to be answered.
Which probably could not have been done in that.
It is very difficult because there is a lot of technicality that you need to adhere to. Like you need a soundproof room, you need a very sensitive and a good mic.
Yeah.
So to set up a radio station in each of the presenters' home is too much of a task. It's a Herculean task. There could be a million glitches too. So we did not want to go that route. Our management was very specific. They will not do that route. And so what they did was we fell in the essential service category. So the presenters were given letters, so we could travel to our studios. And I told you before that we had this 8-hour schedule.
Correct.
But that was brought down to just 3 or 4 hours, the duration of the shows. So I used to go do my show and I used to get back home. But we were all asked to make digital content. Because we understood that a lot of people are sitting
digital
at home.
is the way forward.
Yeah, and a lot of people are sitting at home and working, right? They're not traveling because radio.
So digital content means, is it like a pre-recorded stuff, or you are just going live from home with not a home console basically, but
I'll explain that to you. Like, see how it worked for us was, whatever radio content was made, we would replicate that on digital. We have a system, it's a very unfortunate, if you guys come to our studio, you will see that we have we have a recording facility. So from that, we can actually do Facebook Live. We can also record it. So what you do is, we knew our listeners are probably sitting at home and working. Children are doing online learning, so they cannot really switch on radio at that time because it would be a hindrance to their work.
Correct.
But they're all online. We can give our content online.
Yes.
So what we did was, our radio content, like whatever I speak on radio, if it is about Corona, it could be about the new laws, anything for that matter, we would record it and we would place it on our digital platforms. So our management was very quick and it worked wonderfully for us. We understood this is the need of the hour. And what we did was, we brought all of our radio content online as well. So we did not lose any of our listeners. In fact, we grew our listeners. So our listener base has become, like, I think, amazingly good in the last 4-5 months.
Actually, this I've even heard from other podcasters also. I'm just talking about podcasts because that is what I have learned in the last 2-3 weeks, that even a lot of podcasters, audio, like individuals who have just started podcasting, their listeners have drastically increased in last 3-4 months, and that craze for audio content has gone up.
See, because you know what, everything is shrunk to one small screen,
Correct,
right?
correct.
Everyone is on it.
Everyone
Like if
is
you look
on
at
it,
it,
yes.
social media is booming with so much of
True.
content today.
True.
Like if you look at YouTube, you look at Instagram. If you, unfortunately, TikTok got banned.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you know, so
Otherwise,
you have some fantastic
rampage.
content
Yeah.
there. You know, so people are spending a lot of time online. They want to know what is happening with the world, and communication has reached a different level today. So we understood the need of the hour, and that's why our management was very quick. You know, like in for us from the 15th of March, that is when we started restricting our
Correct.
timings, and since then we've been very quick in adapting and you know, moving on to a different tangent, and it worked brilliantly.
So this is more like the radio OTT. you can
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Radio OTT.
Yeah.
Okay. And Maya, the last question is, obviously no one is the only one,
Yeah.
and there are always a few more.
Yes.
And what I'm talking about is the competition among the in the radio industry, the different how do you call it, the radio FM companies. You know, there are different channels, different stations. How is the competition? Say suppose there are say two individuals from two different stations who talk about the same thing, same time. I'm just talking in general. Competition, how is it?
That would be
Do you have like a, you know, is the viewership completely based on, say, I'm going to watch only Maya today, or is it based on like, okay, I watch Maya, but I'm gonna prefer some other person XYZ as well?
See, I'll tell you what, you can't really force loyalty from your listeners.
Correct.
You
Correct.
cannot.
Correct.
People will try, like just like it's like this. You have a million restaurants. You would want to try them, you
Try
know.
it, yeah.
But what matters is where you come back.
When you come back.
Yeah,
Come
so
back.
that is what matters. So yes, UAE is a very small place, and you know, in such a small market, we do have competition. And I think competition is always healthy. We
Correct.
need competition because that is what keeps you from stacking. Because if you don't have competition, I would be like, "Arey, aram se, you wake me up 3 in the morning also. I can do a show because I know it like the back of my hand."
But do you guys like? Have you guys met other
Yes, of course.
people from other stations?
Of course,
other
Yes, and see,
Of the regular.
it's like as I told you, it's a healthy competition.
Okay.
It's not like, you know, I want to stab them.
Obviously,
and
no.
kill
Yeah,
them. No,
obviously,
it's not
no,
like that.
obviously. Correct.
See, we're all one community,
Correct.
right? So it's good to have competition
Correct,
because, as
correct.
I told you, when you have competition, when you know there are people coming and, you know, trying to grab your bit of the pie, you're always on guard. Like, you don't put your guards down. You're very, very aware of the fact that if you slack, they will take it. So,
Correct.
you know, we have a brilliant team on and off air who make sure we stay ahead of our competition.
Okay.
And maybe that's why 16 years and we've been touched with doing really well for ourselves. And
Of course.
as I told you, they might go test waters, but they'll come back.
They'll come back to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they know where their home is.
Perfect. And guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this session, and I hope Maya enjoyed this
Yes.
session, because we have unfortunately run out of time, and because of this, I'll have to close this session. And Maya, you want to say something to the audience?
Well, it was definitely a pleasure talking to you all, and Avi especially. I'm meeting him for the first time, and you know, you've actually called in a radio jock, and you're saying you don't have the time to let me talk. But definitely, I had fun. Thank you so much.
Guys, please tune in to my channel BNB. You guys are watching Minding My Business. I will catch you again next week. Cheers.